If you are thinking of upgrading from a Middle Eastern fragrance to a designer perfume or just looking for a designer fragrance straight up that would be long lasting, compliment getting and it will help you smell unique, then I think this video might just help you out. Now I have carefully picked these 7 designer fragrances rather than making a long list to create confusion. This video is going to be different considering I will not be discussing the newer fragrances. I mean there will be a few new fragrances, but all of them are tried and tested and are some of the best colognes for this winter or any winter season for that matter. If you are watching my videos for the first time, please consider subscribing to the channel and make sure to hit that like button if you find this video helpful, and it helps with YouTube algorithm as well. Starting strongly at number 7 is the Ralph Lauren's Club Elixir. While this perfume may not be as popular as other fragrances on this list are, don't sleep on this fragrance, especially if you're a big fan of iris and powdery fragrances with a dark green undertone to it. This perfume opens up with a very seductive spicy cardamom note. It is kind of attention grabbing for sure. The lavender and the clary sage give it that aromatic, airy nature to it. Although this fragrance is on the darker side, it will never feel as dense as you would expect. As the scent starts to develop, the powdery smell comes through due to the iris. It is not overly powdery, but it does have the sophistication and a classic feel about it. In fact, I would say the cardamom and the lavender are the notes which makes this fragrance so stellar. I can see this perfume as a very good formal scent. Be it office or college, you can rock this fragrance in any formal situation. It does have very slight hint of sweetness, but not much. And in the dry down, it becomes slightly green and balsamic. Now coming to the performance, I get about 6 to 7 hours of longevity on clothes and a soft projection for the first hour. A very versatile fragrance that you can rock in spring, fall and winter. Just skip the summer season for this one. Now let's move on to the 6th fragrance of this list, to something youthful and sweet. By sweet, it doesn't imply that the vanilla sweetness the newer fragrances come with. It has a very balanced dark chocolatey sweetness with little bit of fruitiness. I would even say this is one of the most beautiful opening among these fragrances, but the opening fades away pretty much quickly. After that you will be getting that silky dark chocolatey smell with just a hint of aromatic spices and lightly smoky. You will get that freshness from the ginger, and the fruity plum makes it much more mass appealing. If you are a school or college student who wants just compliments, grab attention and smell beautiful at the same time, I would have no problem to recommend this fragrance to all of you. Now it is not a groundbreaking fragrance, but it does things very beautifully. Now check out the full review of this fragrance on my channel. I will post it in the top I button. Now the performance of this perfume is very solid. I get about 7 to 8 hours of longevity with moderate to loud projection for the first 1.5 hours. But as I am moving on to the 5th place, I don't think winter fragrance can be complete without a vanilla fragrance. While most of the Azzaro Wanted fragrances are sweet, I personally really like the Wanted by Night and this one, the Most Wanted Parfum. It has little bit of bubblegummy sweetness. It opens with a fresh spicy ginger, and I am also getting a touch of aromatic qualities, although it's not mentioned in the notes breakdown. And trust me, although this fragrance is marketed for men, this one is perfectly unisex. Some may even feel it leans towards slightly feminine side. If you are a stickler of sweet fragrances, you are going to love this one, but if you don't like sweet fragrances, then stay away from this one. By the way, if you have the Azzaro the Most Wanted black bottle, this is going to be somewhat redundant in my opinion. Yes, there are subtle differences. It is slightly more spicy, less toffee sweetness unlike the black bottle. Still, you would immediately notice the similarities. In terms of performance, I am getting that typical Parfum experience. What I mean by that is, it is long lasting, but it has a soft projection. In cold weather, I am getting about 8 hours of longevity, but a soft projection for the first hour. It is a great date night fragrance or for casual situations, but definitely not for the formal events. Now let's move on to something completely different. Much more complex fragrance than the previous one. To some extent, it might be a bit polarizing as well. But if you are feeling adventurous and want to try something different, Hugo Boss Bottle Absolu is the one you should try. Despite all the things I previously said, surprisingly, it has got me a lot of compliments. I have already done a full review of Boss Bottle Elixir. You can check that one out. But this one is superior in terms of performance, and it garners a lot more compliments as well. It has a balsamic, resinous, smoky quality to it, and the sweetness of amber rounds it off beautifully. I never really expected to say this, but this one and the Elixir feels lot more expensive than the price suggests. It actually reminds me a lot of amouage fragrances. If you want to experience niche quality for a designer price and even not too expensive in terms of designer yams, you should give the Hugo Boss bottle Absolu a try. If possible, do try a decant of this one. In terms of performance, I get 10 plus hours of longevity on clothes and a solid projection for the first couple of hours. So without a doubt, it is a beast mode fragrance. On to the third rank then, let's move on to something very popular, mass appealing, and one which I enjoy a lot. It is the JPG Le Male Elixir. It is a very sweet fragrance, but it is just not sweet. It also has aromatic lavender, a fresh mint on the top, and the richness of the tobacco. Even with the honey-like sweetness, it feels very airy. But that doesn't mean that it is weak in terms of performance. In fact, it is quite opposite. I get about 8 to 10 hours of longevity on clothes and a moderate projection for the first couple of hours. It can be a very good date fragrance if you are a little bit careful about the spray routine. But it is definitely a fantastic fragrance for clubbing. JPG has some fantastic fragrances, but this along with the Le Male Elixir are my favorite. This is something you would like to wear in an evening or a night out. Certainly not a fragrance for the daytime. And if you love this smell and want something affordable, check out the video in the top I button. As we are heading towards the top 2 fragrances, the second fragrance is relatively a new fragrance. It is the Givenchy Gentleman's Society Ombre. Now this cologne is super versatile in nature. Be it formal situation, date, even it's fine in casual situation, but I would reserve it for some special occasions. It is a very thick and dense fragrance, very powdery and very floral due to the Narcissus accord, which is the signature note of all the society fragrances. What makes this smell a lot more sophisticated? It is the use of iris along with balsamic notes, a creamy vanilla and slight woody nuances. If you want the classiest fragrance, then this along with the number 1 fragrance on this list should be definitely on your bucket list. Now definitely check out the full review of this fragrance because in terms of performance it's just stellar. An easy 10 hours of longevity with a very strong projection for the first couple of hours, and 2 to 3 sprays should be more than good enough. That's how strong this fragrance is. But despite being such a fragrance, it is not the number 1, and that's because the first rank belongs to the Dior Homme Parfum. Interesting thing is that this perfume is now discontinued and the new fragrance doesn't even come close to this one. If you love that buttery, waxy, creamy, almost like a lipstick makeup smell, but made into something mature, a lot more sophisticated, taking the complexity to the next level, and perhaps the best designer fragrance of all time. If there is a mountain of fragrances, it will be buried at the top of the hill since it is discontinued now. If you want a full review of this fragrance, let me know in the comment section down below. In terms of performance, this is just a beast. An easy 12 plus hours of longevity and good projection for the first 2 to 3 hours. How could I keep this fragrance out of the top ranked place? It just doesn't let me do it. It is not as mass appealing as the Dior Homme Intense because it has that leather and oud in the base, but that is the thing I like about this fragrance. A masterpiece done to the perfection. Now which fragrance among this list is your favorite? Or there are some other fragrances which are to your liking? Do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you have any feedback for this or any of my previous video, be it positive or negative, also drop them in the comment section down below. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It helps the channel a lot. And if you are new to this channel and love fragrance related content, please do consider subscribing to the channel as well. And that's it for today's video. I will meet you all in an exciting new video. Till then, stay safe and as always, stay honest.